Good afternoon, YouTube. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are going to be talking about air plants because everybody requests that I talk about air plants. So today I want to talk about a giant air plant, xerographica. Look at how huge it is. Just kidding, I'm messing with you. That's not fun. But I do have a couple over here, and they are one of my favorite air plants because they're just so big, just massive. So I have one hanging right here for us. Ta-da! Like, it's pretty big. Next to my head, that's pretty big. And then, because one is never enough, let's see if I can get the other one out. Because I bought two, and I've had them for at least a year, maybe a year and a half now. And when I seen them, I just couldn't turn them down. They have grown immensely since I've got them. So I figure it's time to do a care video on Tillandsia xerographica. Anyways, so as you can tell, you need lots of space for these guys. They're not small. They're not like that itty bitty thing that I had in the beginning, which is like a random one that was laying in the greenhouse here. But I wanted to just give you a little bit of care. So the first thing everybody always thinks is air plants never grow roots, and they certainly do in my care. I'm gonna put this one down somewhere. Maybe just over here. Hold on a second. We'll drop that guy down there on the shelf. And I'm just gonna hold this guy for now. I don't know if this one's bigger or small. I think this is the smaller of the two, but it has much bigger roots. So let's check out the roots first. And the roots are like really stiff. But look at this. All of these roots here have grown since it's been in my care. So look at how long these things are. And they're just like, they're actually reaching away from the light into the darkness. So it's hanging like this in the window of the greenhouse. Somewhat like this, kind of pressed against the window. And all the roots are behind it, just like reaching for the humidity and everything else. If this thing was touching part of my greenhouse or a tree or something, it would be severely rooted on that tree by now. So there is a myth that air plants don't grow roots. They totally do. They're a rooted plant. They don't like to move anywhere. They don't like to blow around. As for care, humidity is definitely the key. These guys are so low maintenance in humidity. It's just super easy. I can just give them a splash with a hose every once in a while. If you're growing these in the house, though, you are going to have to remember the humidity. It is the most important thing for these guys. They're not in a bright location here in the greenhouse. They get morning light, but this time of year we're going into end of November now. We're in the dark days of winter, basically. It doesn't get a whole lot darker than this. They get very, very little direct sunlight at all. Not the same for the summertime. Summertime they get lots, but this time of year they don't get much of anything for direct light. Beautiful plants though. And so I would take these guys to the sink and give them about a 30-minute dunk once to twice a week in your house if you're growing these guys in the house. I think it's going to be one of the biggest setbacks. You're never going to get these aerial roots like I have going on here if you're growing them in the house, because just the lack of humidity. They're such a nice plant. They're very velvety, kind of shiny. And I'm going to get one wet, and then you can just sort of see what it looks like. So I have right off camera here a hose. It's set to the mist setting right now, so I'm going to bring it over here. Don't go anywhere. My hose is just kind of caught. And so we can give it a mist right here. And you can see how when it's not thirsty, it changes to kind of a nice green color. I'll bring out the other one just to show you the difference now. Here's both of them. Oh, they're definitely big and getting bigger. So not watered and watered. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but they are a different color now. And so I would, in the greenhouse like this, a spray like that with the hose, they're going to stay wet for quite a while and soak up the water. I don't even have to move them when I water them. I just spray like a mist like that and they're good to go. And for you guys, yes, that's going to be the biggest thing to keeping these guys. Make sure they're in high humidity or they're getting ample water. The next thing, as I touch base on light, I don't find overly important. They're in an east window here in the greenhouse and not getting much sun at all, not even morning sun this time of year. They're just getting sort of ambient light from outside, and they're not under any LEDs or nothing like that, so they're getting like 9 hours of just dim light for this time of year. Summer is completely different. They're getting 5 or 6 hours of sunlight and then bright light for the rest of the day for like 18 hours a day sort of thing, 14 hours a day. So I guess the winter it makes up for the summer and vice versa. What else can I tell you about these guys? Other than watering and light and humidity, I do give them a fuller feeding of fertilizer every once in a while. You obviously can't use a granular fertilizer or anything like that on these guys, but you can fuller feed them, and they do absorb it. It's a very, very weak solution. I use it when I'm spraying the rest of the plants in here. They just sort of get touched with it as well, and it seems to be definitely enough. This one here is actually, he's starting to like grow sort of, he's not just a little ball anymore, he's getting elongated, which could mean there could be a flower spike coming eventually in the future. That would be super cool, but definitely one of my favorite plants. If they weren't all identical, I would have like more than this, but having two I think is pretty good. Now you can see, I don't know if you're going to be able to see, the backside here, kind of where my thumb is, it's not quite so shiny anymore. The oldest leaves, they almost might have like a touch of algae growing. I see like a little bit extra green on the highest leaf there that's like on my nose right now. They just don't look quite as pristine. It could be just the lighting in here, and you know, when I get it wet it could just go back to like being perfectly green. It could just be so that's kind of one thing. Because I don't dunk them in the water to rinse them off, I spray them and then move on, and I fuller feed them and then move on. They probably could do with a good soaking. Now something like this, you would literally have to probably throw in the bathtub in order to get it to be underwater. I have got a big sink down here, but so I could fill that sink up for them as well. But yeah, super cool. I don't know what else I can tell you about these guys. Temperatures, total wide range of temperatures for these guys. So in the winter, they are actually going to hit lows of 10 Celsius at the lowest. That's going to be like 50 Fahrenheit for you Fahrenheit people. And this time of year, they get up to about room temperature in the daytime, about 20 to 25 Celsius. So that's just over 70 Fahrenheit. We currently have 83% humidity in here. And exactly 20 Celsius for the daytime high on a cloudy fall, almost winter day. Now in the summertime, as I say, it's very different. Humidity is regulated, so it's going to stay 75 to 80, but they are going to have nighttime lows of 16 to 20 and daytime highs 27 to 30 degrees Celsius. So that's getting up over 80 Fahrenheit. And they can definitely take that wide range of temperatures. So anyways, I'm going to put the wet guy back. It's even amazing. They were about the same weight. How much water it actually absorbed. It's significantly heavier now than it was before I watered it. So they hang just down below you guys. Not up too high, but not down too low either. I have got them both sort of, I've had to jerry rig some hanging on these guys. This one is a simple zap strap around some of the older leaves, just nicely done in there. I don't want to pull it too hard because it would break off the older leaves, with an orchid clip to hang it. And the other one looks like I wrapped some wire around the same manner, did a little hook with it, and it has like a permanent metal hook on it that kind of hangs. So two different ways to basically achieve the same thing. And yeah, so they're growing towards the light. It's hanging this sort of way. And almost touching a bit of the polycarbonate, so it stays a little bit. It's not hanging upside down like this, but it is on a downward sort of thing. It'd be really cool to be able to mount these guys upwards, but realistically, if I mounted them upwards, there's a good chance that water is going to get caught inside them. And I would rather have them hanging on a lower angle like this, kind of trying to reach for it and being well drained, than have them on getting water in the crown. But anyways, that is my care for Tillandsia xerographica. I hope you liked this video, and if you want to see more videos like this, make sure you subscribe to my channel. And as always, thanks for watching. Bye guys.